beautiful people. How are you, my babes? I hope you guys are doing amazing. So today I'm having the Q&A. You know that you guys, I always do a Q&A here and there, and I did wrote that question a couple weeks ago, and you guys did write me the questions. So I'm gonna be reading them and answering them. So so you guys can get to know me, for the people who may be new, because I did do a video like this like back in the day, but I'm doing it again. For those who hate me, love me, love and hate, But anyways, we're going to start with the first one. It says, magic. Being spiritual, I understand. We are all still experiencing human experiences. How do you keep your vibes, energy up while being surrounded by karmic energies? So this actually took me a bit to I would say, master or even learn. It's all about... Actually, before, let me just go back. Before, even when I was doing my readings and all that, at the time, I was being called by Lilith, right? I felt her energy and all that. I wasn't ready to work with her just yet because I just didn't know exactly what I wanted. And that's one of the things in the spiritual journey, that you have to figure out exactly what is it that you want to do. And, So anyways, with that said, once I decided to work with her, and this is not for you guys to work with her specifically if you guys don't want to. This is just my experience, right? Once I started working with her, she taught me through magic and all that, how to disconnect, how to cleanse my energies, how to protect me, how to protect my home, how to protect everybody that lives in this home as well, because it's not only you or me, right? It's also the people who surround me. And she taught me to do that. But long story short, I am, as you guys know, I'm a witch. So I do practice the magic, spells for protection. I do practice, I do my own bath salts. I do my own magic potions, right? To cleanse my energies, to keep it at bay, to keep them away from me. So that's pretty much how I actually do it. Of course, there's many other ways, but as me being myself, that's how I do it. And I always, like I said before, I know how to cast spells for protection and to push those energies, which, karmic is not the best, so I call it like lower energies away from me. Of course, it's like some karmic energies, talking about lessons here, not maybe what you're asking me, but it's also karmic lesson energies, like that you have to go through it regardless. I always see things on a different perspective, saying that, what, if I go through that karmic lesson, I know it's gonna pay off at the end. And often it does work like that. So long story short, that's how I do it. Angel love. At what age did you realize you had a spiritual gift, and what made you pursue tarot readings? So when I was 6, I was born and raised for most part in Puerto Rico, right? So where I'm from, or where my parents are from, is like the countryside, right? So I'm an only child, by the way, meaning that I was often playing, with my dolls and myself, my imagination. I remember when I was like 6 or 8, around that age, I was playing hide and seek with myself. Yep. And I hear a voice that says, "Are you alone? Do you feel lonely?" And often when I was younger, I heard voices, it was scary back then because I didn't know what was going on. I was too young, and my mom and dad, they did not practice the spiritual path, right? So I was afraid to tell them, because being in a Christian household, when it's just it's not about Christianity, to be honest, it's about religious beliefs. Like, everything is wrong, and they don't actually want to expand to knowledge, to explain, to maybe help and figure out what's happening, right? So I was not only the Christian household, because I know a lot of people who are Christian and they're amazing, more about religious beliefs, and it's more about my family at the time. I'm not talking about anybody but my own experience, right? They're very religious, and I was afraid to tell them what was happening, what would I actually see. I will see shadow people back then, and I will see a lot of things, and I will hear a lot of things, but I will say nothing, because in my family that was forbidden, and that was it wasn't accepted. So I was like, okay, hold on, my son. So I was okay, I kept it to myself, quiet. But since back when I was a little girl, I seen that. I used to hear angel voices, specifically when my grandmother passed away. I think I was like 6 or 7, and that's around the time that I started seeing things, like I was telling you before. When my grandmother passed away, I started hearing voices. My grandmother used to talk to me, and you know, she wanted, at the time my family had an issue when my grandma passed away. I think it was, I don't remember exactly what it was, but they had an issue like between brothers, you know, my aunties and uncles. And she actually came to me because she knew I was the only one who could hear her and the only one who could actually relay the message. And you know, I sat down, and because I was so afraid of like being called crazy, you know, I'm a little girl, da 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 da, I told them that an angel told me, right? And because it was such a religious belief in my family, they were like, oh my god, yeah, they listened to me. But since I was a young little girl, now tarot reading started when I got out. If you guys know, if you guys don't, there's a video when I talk about my narcissistic ex and my relationship, da 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 da. So when I was with my narcissistic ex, I always liked tarot readings. I watched it on YouTube and all that, and I always wanted to own cards, but he was very religious, like worse than my family. Long story short, when I released myself from that relationship because it was completely abusive, at least mentally, emotionally abusive, I got out. I found, you know, relief, and I found like my support through tarot. I actually wanted it just to feel that I could talk to somebody and to feel like I could have some answers. And once I started getting to my first cards, which I got them off eBay a long time ago, I bought the books, and you know, that's when it started my love for tarot. And then before that, right before, and maybe I think around the same time, my best friend, she and I used to work at Target. She don't work there no more, so sad. But when she used to work there, I love her so much. She's like the older sisters I never had, and I felt so loved and protected by her. So when, you know, we connected, my best friend and I, and at Target, and this is sisterhood love, right? She was like telling me things, and I will tell her like, oh, this is gonna happen like that, and she will point out like, damn, you might be a psychic, because every time I will say things, right, it will happen. And she's like, you should try tarot, which back then I did like, but at the same time that she told me that, I decided to buy my tarot cards, my first tarot cards, and that's when I started doing readings for her, for myself, and I offered to do it to other people at Target. And once I mastered it, because you know this significance, and you have to get your own confidence and, you know, intuition, da 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 da. My friend told me, hey, just do YouTube, because she knows I'm a single mom, right? And she's like, maybe you can actually make some extra income, and then you can stay home, because, you know, I feel like she and I, we actually knew or had a feeling that the economy, or maybe my life was gonna be needing, or I was gonna be needing to work from home. So that's pretty much how I can make the whole, because it's like more than that, but I just don't want to take forever, because it's like a long like history of why and how and all that. But that's pretty much around that, what made me pursue tarot. Also, because besides that, before I actually was hurt by, you know, by people, right, like relationship wise, and I always told myself, I wish I could prevent that to happen, you know, from happening to somebody else. Like I would love to prevent somebody to not have the heartbreak, or not go through something and then realize that the person is not the one for them. So it was mainly also because I loved it, and also because I wanted to help people to not go through things that they don't need to, like if somebody's worth it or not, you know, like, you know, to see if it's worth investing, pretty much, to help out. But also because I loved it, not gonna lie, I loved it. I still love it. So we got Roxana Divagar. I most likely say your name wrong. I love you anyways. I just don't know how to pronounce your name. How did you start your spiritual journey, and when your parents knew, how did you explain them about tarot and stuff? Oh girl. Okay, so I started like definitely like the 100% when I move out. You know, when I move out from my ex, you know, I was like, you know, I'm gonna do it. The funny thing is that at the time, my parents and I, we live in the same apartment building, not in the apartment building, not in the apartment. They lived downstairs and I lived upstairs. This is like a whole building, right? So I started buying stuff, right, and I'll put it under my bed, and it took me a minute to realize I was an adult, to realize that my parents did not live with me. And I was like, damn, why am I hiding, you know, because I knew how they were, and I knew it was gonna get a reaction. So I started doing tarot stuff, you know, quietly. I was not telling anybody. Then I opened up the first one to know was my mom. I opened up and I showed her I had a little plastic box, you know, those boxes that you buy for putting your pencils for back to school, like it's like 75 cents at Walmart or so. I put my cards there with a bunch of crystals. And anyways, I showed her and she's like, oh, she was so mad, and I was like pooping my pants. I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna hate me, because back then I did care a lot about being accepted, and I did care a lot about being loved and being part of something, you know. And when she reacted, she was like very upset, but at the same time she wasn't freaking out that much, but she was very upset. Then once I told her, I felt like, you know, a little bit more relieved, because I was like a witch in the closet kind of. So I was like able to get out, like it was like lifting off my shoulders, because I wanted her to know who I was really. I wanted her to know what I loved, what I was doing. I just never ever liked to hide under the bed or hide things, you know. So I did. Then I told her, at the time I was creating my Instagram, because I started on Instagram, and I showed her, and I was getting like some followers. People were loving my stuff, and she was, oh my god. Then my dad found out. I don't remember how he found out. I don't know if she told him or I did. He reacted worse than she did. He was very upset. He didn't want to talk to me for a couple of days. That hurt me a lot, because being the only child, I was like a daddy's girl. And when he reacted like that, it did break me. It broke my heart. I felt so bad. And he was like, I didn't raise you like this, you know. It was like a lot of like things thrown at my face of like religious beliefs and all that, and me going to hell. And I said, you know what, I said, this is me. I love you, Dad. Whenever you want to come around, you know, just let me know. I give him his space. I gave them their space. I did not bother them or none of that. I stopped bringing stuff, because I was always open about my beliefs, but they didn't want me to wear stuff around them. So I would just take off my necklaces. I would not talk about it around them, because I respected them, you know, like they're my parents, regardless of like, you know, the issues. So with that said, it was a situation that it was like a fight. Then a lot of my family found out, and on Facebook, and I will actually, my personal Facebook, and I was getting a lot of messages from my family members, telling me a lot of things, in a way I felt threatened sometimes, to be honest. I lost a lot of my family members stopped following me. Others told my cousins, like one of my auntie told my cousins to not talk to me, which broke my heart, because I did love my auntie. I still love her, but I just can't believe she told them like to not talk to me, you know, like I'm just a person, you know. And I lost a lot of contact with my aunties and all that, and some of my cousins, because my religious beliefs for them was an issue, and they pushed me away pretty much. And till this day, it gotten better, because I actually gained strength to stand up for myself, because back then I used to let people walk all over me. I let people abuse me mentally, verbally, you know, push me around literally. And I stand up for myself, because I said, you know what, I gotta stand up for what I believe, because tarot readings and tarot saved me from bad things. To be honest, it saved me. It gave me tunnel vision. It gave me hope, and I wanted to give that to the world. I wanted to give people hope. I wanted to give people answers, and I knew back then that it's gonna be hate, because if I had hate from my own family, you know, I wasn't surprised when I started getting hate online by strangers. And that's pretty much, girl, how it went. And like I said, till today, it's still like difficult, because they don't accept it. My parents have come around, and they joke around now, and they are not as difficult, because it took like 2 years for them to accept it. But I'm glad that they were able to come around and see me as their daughter, regardless of what I believed and regardless of what I do. And they understand it now. They actually sometimes ask for information, and my mom started following me in YouTube and all that. So it's nice to see them come around slowly. I know my dad still needs a little bit more, because again, you know, I gotta respect that, but it's nice to see and to know that I can be more open about like, hey, I did this, because every time I do YouTube and I do videos, I tell them about it. So it's nice to be able to at least talk to them about how my stuff is going, and them being a little bit more accepting. But it was hard, not gonna lie. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I just got out of it, but I got it now. Annie C, what encouraged you to start a YouTube channel, and do you have any doubts or fears? So Annie, girl, girl, sit down. I'm gonna tell you. So what encouraged me, I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound conceited, but not really. I always knew I was meant for bigger things. When I worked for a factory. I worked in a factory. I work in an Aldi, a supermarket. I work at Sally Beauty, that's a beauty supply. I worked in many different places before that, and I always knew that life, I was meant to be elsewhere and doing more. You know, I always been, when I work right anywhere, I always be the person who stands out in a way that I become the leader and I help others, you know, and da 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 da. But I knew my whole life when I was like older, right, 20, that was, I was meant for bigger things. I didn't know what, but I always knew that. And when I started, you know, throughout the situation that I, you know, answered before about the tarot stuff and all that, I realized that I always wanted to be a YouTuber, but I didn't know what I could do. My friend comments about, hey, why don't you do a YouTube channel? But I was very afraid that back then I you know, I just had my son. I was like a way bigger than what I am right now. I was terrified of my exes, of my baby daddy, my ex, because I was terrified that he wanted to take away my son just because I was online. Again, that's me being, you know, a victim of being abused mentally. You know, I had to outgrow all of that. Besides that, I was very afraid of people talking about my weight back then, because I was close to 200 pounds. I never looked like it because I am curvy. I'm a Latina, I'm Puerto Rican, so I'm curvy, so you know, it goes places, but still I didn't feel comfortable. So I decided to do Instagram, girl, and then I went from Instagram to TikTok. And then when I started gaining, you know, my confidence, I started doing lives and all of that. That's when the wig came up, because the wig was 2 reasons. Back then I thought that people wouldn't recognize me with a wig, and others, it was also my alter ego. Like, I always wanted to do things with my hair, but my hair can't take it. My hair will legit fall out. So that's why I used the wigs, and I like them, to be honest. And I was like, what a cheaper way and cool way of having different styles, right? So that was my fears. Also the fears of like, what do I do, how to do it, because now I know what to do, but before I was like, how do I say hi to people? You know, it's just weird. Or back then it seemed weird to record myself and talking to myself. And also I was like, what if people don't like me? You know, what if people don't like the videos? What if people, you know, make fun of me? You know, that is the beginning stages of like a YouTuber or any influencer. It's like the little fears. But yes, I did have fears. Also have fears of like my family seeing these videos and be like, oh, Michelle, da da da, you know, a lot of things. But yes, it did cause fears. What encouraged me, like I told you, I always knew I was meant for more. And like I said before, I always wanted to be a YouTuber. I just found that I could help others from my home. I could help others in the, you know, in the video world and whatnot. But yeah, it was most my best friend told me. And also it's just like, you know what, I said, F it, let's see what could happen, you know. So it's more about like taking a risk. And I actually back then I had a reading saying that what if that I was meant to be online, like I was meant to help people online. And I was told that I was going to be successful in a way, shape or form. And you know, I said, you know what, let's see. And so far this has worked, you know. We got the same girly, Rochana Divakar. Sorry, I'm saying your name wrong. Also, if given a chance to travel around the world, where would you like to go and why? I would like to go to India. I like to go a lot of places, but I'm gonna start with India. I always, since I was like younger, like 15, I always seen on YouTube the videos of like the food, right? Indian food. And I am a foodie person, and I loved walking, like when they record walking around. I love the structure. I also used to watch documentaries about India, about, you know, people showing about the culture, the food, the clothing, a lot of history. You know, I am fascinated by the music. I love Indian music. Like, if I could show you my playlist when I work out, and or when I just want to go, when I'm going to my Target job, I put Indian music. I don't know, it brings peace, and it brings, I don't know, it's just amazing. I don't know why, I just love it. You know, it's just like, I love the culture, I love the music, I love the beliefs. You know, like I'm such big respect over I don't know, the beliefs. I just don't know how to explain it, girl, but I love it. I love it. And the culture is beautiful. The food, it looks amazing. I have some of the food here, America. Maybe it doesn't. I bet like you guys is like Indian food in India should taste better. But hey, I just love it. I love the clothing. If I ever had a chance to go there, I will 100% go there. I will eat a lot. I will definitely would like to buy jewelry and all that, because oh my goodness, Indian jewelry and earrings are so beautiful. I don't know. I just love India. I don't know why, but that would be like the main thing that I would see. I would say like, can I go there? That would be my first choice. Now, the second place that I would like to go is Switzerland. Third, Spain. And I would like to also visit Korea and also Canada as well. But not as bad as India. I would like to go India first, and then once I complete that dream, I will go everywhere else. I would like to travel the world, to be honest. I would like to learn about cultures and learn about everybody, to be honest. I feel like we are so beautiful, all of us, the human race, and we have so much to learn from each other. So I would love to, but that'll be the first place besides the other ones I mentioned. Annie C. Oh, I got that. Sorry. Jennifer Mello. That's my BFF. What is your favorite card in the deck and why? I love the lovers, right? And I also love, beside, what is the other one? The Six of Cups. And I know it's one, but I have three. Is the lovers, the Six of Cups, and I also like the world. The lovers, because I don't know, it reminds me of Adam and Eve. Like, I know like the story might not be adding up, but it's just like, you start with nothing, and you just like, it's like being naked with one another, and it's not even sexual at this point. It's pretty much being vulnerable. It's like being vulnerable and having this love that is like out of this world. I don't know, that's how I feel like. I feel like so drawn to it. Also, the Six of Cups is like if you guys know, the Six of Cups is like the kid giving the cup to the girls, like two little kids. I will show them here. I will put them here in case that you guys don't know. I know you guys do, but in case, it's just pretty much starting over. It's like this high school love, this like childish love, that is like the one that gives you butterflies. I don't know, I love it. And I also like the world because it also for me gives me the feeling of like a new beginning. It gives me the feeling of like there's better things out there. It's not the end, adventure, like unknown and all of that. And that's why I like it. I know it's a weird explanation. It's more about feeling, and sometimes it's hard to explain feelings, but those are my favorite cards in the deck. Jesse Quick, are you on a twin flame journey? Do you have any advice on detaching in a general? So I believe I was on a twin flame journey back then, years ago. It's messy, because it was, when you say the right person at the wrong time, I would say it's not even that. It's more about you meet your twin flame, but we always have the runner and the chaser, and I was the chaser at the time. The person was the runner, and it was pretty dang obvious. There were feelings there. There was a lot of potential there, but it was a lot of things in the way that I was not willing to sacrifice. I was not willing to put myself on the line for somebody else like that. And why? Because I always, since my last relationship, that was before my fiance, right? This is like years before my fiance. I realized that like a year before my fiance, at very least, a year before I met my fiance. Sorry, I had to make sure. My ex at the time, my baby daddy, showed me that you should actually get exactly what you give. And when I realized it was not like that, I was like, nah. When how to detach it, I think everybody has their own ways. I always tell people like healing and detaching from somebody that you love, regardless if it's a twin flame, soulmate, or just anybody, to be honest, is on your own pace, because it's pretty much just like ripping, especially when it's like twin flame or soulmate connections, it's like pretty much ripping something from your skin, right? And it's gonna hurt and you're gonna bleed. And of course, when you have a wound, you got to wait for it to heal, right? So it's pretty much, like I said, on your own risk. But my advice, or at least I can tell you how I did it, was I realized that it was not worth it for me. I was, not gonna put myself through that. I wanted to focus on myself, and what I did was to delete their number, block them everywhere I could, and I started focusing on the gym, focusing on myself, focusing on my goals, focusing on the things that I wanted to do for myself, like YouTube and other things that I had in mind at the time. So always try to find a hobby whenever you decide to. It's like, you know, exercise does help a lot because it keeps your mind like elsewhere. You know, you don't have the time to be thinking about the situation, and also finding a hobby keeps your mind from, you know, going back, caving in, or feeling sad. So I highly recommend you to find a hobby, because like I said before, there's a lot of things that you can do, but I always tell people, do it at your own time, because it's not that easy. Sophia Maclan, I would love to know more about twin flames and soulmates. Are they the same thing or not? So twin flames and soulmates it's pretty close, but it's not the same. So twin flames are when two people are actually complete and they reunite, right? So it's pretty much when it's more about a feeling. And I'm gonna read you something. Let me just find it real quick so I can explain it better. So I put this on my Instagram, right? And I'm going to just read it, and I'm going to just add to it. So when it's your twin flame, it's like you recognize this person. It's like you know this person, even though that you just met. It's like their energies and their presence feel familiar, and you feel drawn to them in a way that nobody can explain. When you bring this up to people that don't believe in twin flames or soulmates, or that they have never heard about that, they go like, are you crazy? Are you obsessed? It's not that. It's like you know this individual. You know their energies. It seems to be the difference between soulmates and twin flames now is that the twin flame, at the end of the day, in a way, shape, or form, they don't stop fighting for you. You will always see them in any way, shape, or form. Like you will see their name. You will see, like it's impossible to forget. Now the soulmate, we have the runner and the chaser, right? So the runner will run without looking back. The chaser keeps on running until they get tired, and then they let the runner be, right? And that's why it's harder than that. I can make a video about that because I would like to bring points. Like, I'm not the kind of person that just, you know, talks, but this is pretty much what I can give you, so I don't make this video longer than it is. But they're not the same, they're different. Let me read you a little bit more about the twin flame here that I have on my Instagram. You will give in to the strong attraction towards each other. The relationship will have ups and downs, but it will be fulfilling. Your union is predestined for the greater good of mankind. The relationship will develop fast and will get intense rapidly. No matter how many times you part ways, you meet again. The romance will feel like a divine bliss from heavens, meaning that when you have a soulmate, you go like, you know, it is what it is. It didn't work, and it's easier in a way to perform to forget them. Now, when you're meeting your twin flame, it's like you can never stop thinking about them. It could be years, it could be months, and you always go like, I wonder how they are, and you always go like, my goodness, I wonder how life would have been, you know. So even though that it sounds familiar, it is not. Like I said before, I can make a video down the road with information. I can bring some books that you guys can have. I can bring you some screenshots, but that's pretty much it. But they're not the same. They're pretty alike, but they're not the same. It's pretty much when two individuals, like I said before, they go through odds and everything, and they feel complete and fulfilled, and they come back together and whole, and they can actually start something new. Now, soulmates are people that you still need to work things out, that they have karmic in their energies, and that they have like toxicity that needs to be worked on. Not only them, but you as well. So, hi, how did you know you had a gift? Did you start seeing angel numbers first? So yes, I always seen angel numbers, always, all my life. And how did I knew I had a gift? Like I said before, this may be answered on the first question, which is when I was a little girl, I always was in a way to perform special, but I was looked as a freak. I was looked as and treated as it's not real, you know, but I knew it was real. Me telling things, I had multiple dreams that come true. My intuition, since back then, it was never wrong. If I said, oh, this dude does not like this girl, it was 100% like that. Or if I would think out of nowhere, oh, he's gonna break her heart, or the other way around, it will happen like that, like without me knowing the people. Sometimes I will stare at people and I will feel their energies, and I'm like, holy moly, and that's all the information I needed. So I knew I always had a gift. I will hear things, I will see things, I will see things flying across the room, even at my job. So I always knew I had a gift. I just didn't know where to start. I didn't know how to talk about it with people, because I didn't, about back then, even before my BFF, I didn't know people about it. I didn't know people that thought the same about the situation. But after I realized that I was a witch, something special, like spiritual being, or whatever you want to call me, right? That's when things started to happen more frequently. But I always knew I had a gift since I was a little girl. Like I said, I've seen things, hear things, and all that. So that's pretty much how I knew. And like I said before, with my intuition has never been wrong, and within time, I mastered it. I trusted, I gained confidence, I bought books, I got myself education, because it's not just about talking, it's also about education. That's why, like, when I talk about soulmates and twin flames, I want to be specific, because I know what it is. I just, sometimes it's hard for me to put it into words, maybe because I'm bilingual, but I want to find the right words to give you guys the right information. And I want to give you guys some books, so you guys can see them, and maybe you guys want to buy it and have more information and keep on educating yourself if you want to, of course. But yeah. And this wasn't not written here. This was on my email, but I couldn't find it. I don't know, because I get so many emails. But I remember somebody wrote me a question too. It's like, they asked me what it was why am I, like, they said that they love my attitude, but they go like, why are you so strong? Like, why are you like that, right? Because maybe this is gonna be answered like I answer everything. It's not only I am who I am. Keep in mind that I am a very sarcastic person. That's the first thing. I make jokes. I'm very sarcastic. I am very straightforward, and that's who I am. And I don't like to waste my time. I don't like to waste people's time. That's another thing. But why am I so strong? Why am I so? Because life teaches people that you can get away with anything as long as the other person doesn't fight back. Because people often, I feel like, they don't ask, why is this person reacting? Or people tend to judge the person reacting instead of looking at the bigger problem. Why did this person have to come towards this person to disrespect it? So I am a very respectful person, because even in person or online, I don't go up to you and just make you feel bad about anything. Or I don't say like, hey, I don't like you, like, I don't gain nothing out of that, because I'm not that kind of person. But the minute people feel free to come into my energies, come into my channel, which is my home, and tell me how to run it, I feel like a boundary has been stepped on without asking me. And sometimes the way it's said is the same way I will respond. So if you get, I have people who will tell me like, hey, can you talk too much, da 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 da. So that's why that person, I didn't thought it was anything wrong, so I switch all the information towards the end, so whoever wants to know about that information goes to the end, right? But when people go like, oh, can you shut up, I don't like it, that's when I go like, no, I'm not gonna shut up, you can just leave, because I'm matching energies. I feel like, I don't believe that always fire should be fought with fire, but I'm a Libra, and I will mirror exactly your reactions and your energy. So again, if you want to be treated with respect, treat me with respect. If you want me to be nice to me. I am a Libra, I'm a mirror, and I will always mirror back exactly your attitudes and your energies without hesitation, because I am the kind of person who believes treat people the way you want to be treated. So when I treat people the same way they treat me, that's when they go like, oh my goodness, I don't like it. And I said, you see that? I don't like it either. I didn't like it back then, and other people might not like it. And by being like that, I have created a channel based on respect, because I also defend my beautiful followers. I've seen people commenting, and I see other people commenting and bashing my beautiful followers, and I stop them right there, because this is not WWE. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not a fight situation. Like, everybody has the right to believe in what they want to believe and say whatever they want to say. It's just the way it's delivered. But also because I am a mom, so I am a very defensive, and I'm very, very protective. And at the end of the day, like I said before, it's the internet. I know it's the internet. I know I cannot take it too hard, which I don't. But you guys have to understand that I am sarcastic. I am a troll sometimes with trollers. You know, I troll the troll, and that's why people have so much respect for me. That's why people tend to write comments and delete them, is because I have created a safe space for people who want to learn, and I also created a safe space for me, and I created a space that is respectful, you know. And I guess that's what it is. I also like to stand up for myself. I like to stand up for others, and it's like the leader in me, you know, like my goddess in me, pretty much, you know. That's it, you know. Like, I know it could be misunderstood sometimes, and I totally get that, but at the end of the day, like I said before, I'm just gonna match people's energy in the internet and real life. And trust me, this way that I have been for at least 2 years, since I found myself, has always gotten me to stand up and to get the respect I deserve, because everybody deserves respect. And when people think they have the VIP pass to not do that, I remind them that no, that works in your room, not in my home, you know. So that's pretty much why. I forgot the name of the person who wrote that. Also, somebody asked me how many years I've been with my fiance. It's gonna be 2 years and a half with my fiance. Somebody asked me also my email. I forgot that. I should have brought their name. I didn't write their name. Sorry about that. How old I was when I had my son. When I got pregnant, I was 24 when I was pregnant. When I found out I was pregnant, and I was 25 when I had him. So that's that. Another person wrote me on my DM or my email. I don't know. They're asking me about spirituality. What can you tell me about spirituality? And I know there's a lot of things I can say about it, but I'm going to tell you something very important, is that be respectful towards everybody who works in the spirituality realm. Like, whoever is a spiritual mentor, whoever is like a witch, you name it, you know. You know what? Because you never know what is the entity or what is the divine being or ancestor watching over them. The person that you're insulting, let's say that this is just me giving an advice, right? The person who may be insulted might not do anything, but the divine being and the ancestor who's watching them will do something. So you have to be very respectful towards everybody who works in a spiritual community, as you never know who is taking, like, you know, protecting them. So that's why I told people, hey, the people who say I'm very, very powerful all the time when they want to threat somebody, those are the people who are the least powerful, because they don't know what they're talking about. Why? Because the people who have the most power and the most magic will not talk about it as much and what they can do, because to each his own. You know, a magician will never tell you all their tricks, right? So when people go like, oh my God, I'm gonna do this, you have to be very careful with that, though, because you are not threatening the person, you're threatening the divine being, which is crossing the boundary in the spiritual community, and then whoever is watching them will actually act upon your energies. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of the things I learned the hard way, is that, hey, do not mess with people that you don't need to be messing with, you know, because back then I didn't do anything. I used to follow somebody on TikTok, and this person was like bullying this creator, and this creator was very nice, and then the creator came out as a demon was protecting them, right? So when that person realized, because it was like in a live in TikTok, right? When that person realized that a demon was watching over that specific TikToker, she started apologizing, because she even used her real name in her photo. So at that point, she got scared. So that's the thing. Don't go to the spiritual community with that entitlement of like, I'm gonna threaten this person, telling them this, I'm gonna insult them, because you never know who's behind those doors. You never know who is protecting them. So for your own energetically safety, just be respectful. Get to know the person. Be respectful. Don't go overboard for no reason, you know. So that's why I don't mess with other people. That's why I don't talk about other tarot readers with name. That's why I don't attack other people. That's why I don't tell people how to do their craft, because at the end of the day, their craft is their craft. It's not my business. So that is pretty much all the questions I had. I didn't have anything else. I don't know if I had anything else to tell you guys. I don't want to be super boring, but I guess it's a Q&A. That's what it is. Hold on. Okay. Another thing about me that you guys may not know, you know, I am very open about being a witch, which people go like, oh my God. I'm like, but you know, it's bigger than just tarot. You know, it's all about finding yourself, working for your higher good, understanding the universe well, understanding that some things are out of your control, respecting boundaries, believing in things that you can't see, and understanding that everything contains magic. And the hardest thing for me in this path that I chose was patience and was growth, because people go like, oh, I want to just do better, I want to do more self-love, I want to do some like growth within myself. But self-growth and self-love is the hardest thing ever, and it took me forever, and I feel like I'm achieving it. And yeah, that's the biggest things, like the biggest challenge in spirituality is not only being judged and misunderstood by many other communities and other people who don't know nothing about what they're talking about, is also the understanding of time, understanding of patience, understanding of divine timing, understanding soulmates and twin flames and what it is about and how they work, and how to not overthink it, how to not get super involved, how to not being upset about the outcomes, you know. So pretty much respecting the divine timing has been the hardest thing for me, and is the hardest thing of every single client I ever had and every single person I mentor. When I teach them, when we talk, it's more about patience is the thing that, you know, hits and triggers the most in everybody, because I am also a mentor. Like, I'm not just a tarot reader, I'm a mentor online and Instagram. I mentor a lot, and when I listen to people and we talk and all that, you know, to help them find their path, it is 100% the thing. It's like people want to be spiritual, but they don't want the awakening part. They don't want the tower moment, and that is going to happen exactly like that. After those moments, that's when you actually bloom, because that's like you're reborn, you know. So that is that. So this is pretty much it. That's all the questions I had that I remembered. If I missed one on my email, I'm sorry. I did write them down, but I don't know what I put them, because being a single mom is crazy. But anyways, guys, I love you guys so much. You guys have an amazing day. Please like and subscribe. I hope you guys like this video. I did enjoy it a lot. I'm gonna do more Q&As more often, so you guys can ask me random questions, and I would love to answer them, because I want you guys to get to know me. The point of my channel is to be real. The point of my channel is to get to know you guys, so you guys get to know me, because I hate fake online stuff. I always wanted to be myself. I have always been myself, and I feel like that's why we are a soul tribe, not just followers and YouTuber. You know, we are a soul tribe, and we are here to improve and to help each other respectfully and with our boundaries as well, you know. So that's it. I love you guys so much. You guys have an amazing day. Bye.